Okay, so today we're going to be diving into leaky brain. I'm not sure if you've heard of that before, so let's take a step back and talk about something you probably have heard of, leaky gut. So this is a big topic in the gut health world and functional medicine world. So I work with a lot of people that have not just leaky gut, but also leaky brain. And some of the more common symptoms I see in these people outside of their typical gut issues. So people are coming to me with bloating, diarrhea, constipation, chronic fatigue, heartburn, indigestion, food sensitivities. But they're also experiencing migraines, headaches, weather headaches. They're dealing with aches and pains. They're dealing with brain fog and mental health issues like depression, anxiety, ADHD, sleep issues, weight gain. All of these things are connected not just to the gut, but to your brain. And we know that the gut and the brain are connected in many ways. So there's this gut-brain connection through your nervous system. So that is your spine and your brain. But also we know now that part of your nervous system is actually in your gut, and that's called your enteric nervous system. So there's always a two-way highway of information going from the gut to the brain and vice versa. And there's a lot of signaling going on through the immune system as well. And things like neurotransmitters, so things like serotonin levels. So there's a lot going on in terms of how your gut and brain are communicating with each other, but just knowing that they're always communicating with each other, and what affects the gut will affect the brain, and what affects the brain, something like a concussion or a mental health issue, will affect the gut. And we know that, of course, everything in the body is connected. So it's not just the gut and the brain we're talking about. The reason people get things like aches and pains and fatigue is because these issues, especially with leaky gut, they become systemic, right? So what leaks into your bloodstream is not just affecting your gut. When you have leaky gut, that is leaking in your bloodstream, and your blood goes everywhere, right? And that affects your whole body. Our brain is protected by something called the blood-brain barrier, or BBB for short. And it's there to protect our brain from things like infections and trauma and whatnot. And there are certain things that are allowed to go through there, like neurotransmitters, GABA, serotonin, dopamine, and nutrients that are needed to build these brain chemicals, right? But when it, much like the gut, very similar, the membrane that kind of filters things through in the gut, and same in the brain, that blood-brain barrier, when there is damage to it, it becomes leaky. And now we're gonna get stuff into our brain that should not be there, causing a lot of inflammation and even cell death, and contributing to chronic issues like even dementia. So I don't want to scare you guys, but knowing that and having this understanding and being empowered to say, okay, I know I've got leaky gut. I probably also have leaky brain based on my symptoms of brain fog, mental health stuff, fatigue, chronic inflammation. If I work on my gut, I'm going to optimize my brain, and vice versa.